Hello, everybody. Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, here to react to the Raptors' 110-99 loss to the Boston Celtics. Ryker, I'm not worried about the Raptors, but I'm definitely frustrated after this game.
Well, why are you frustrated?
We can't lose to Boston. The Boston Celtics, the worst team on the planet. Not like basketball-wise, just like in my opinion of likability. I just hate the Boston Celtics.
In your opinion of likability? Well, who's the villain on Boston?
What is the villain?
No, who is the villain?
Just all of them, the Celtics.
What demonizes the Celtics team?
They just suck. They're the Celtics.
Oh my gosh. Heavily biased. I have a couple things to say about this game. One, Jayson Tatum is quite the young talent.
He's Evan Turner. That's all he is.
I mean, the third
That's all
quarter...
he'll ever be.
Okay. But the third quarter, he led the team. He was the only player that was producing on his team in the third. And he's a rookie. And he just seems so polished out there. He's crazy. This draft class is amazing. Ben Simmons, Donovan Mitchell, Lonzo Ball maybe will become good one day. Jayson Tatum.
Ben Simmons wasn't a part of the draft. But like this rookie class.
This rookie class, yeah, fair.
Yeah.
But anyways, this rookie class was crazy. Two,
and OG
I don't know what
future.
happened. Don't know what happened. Yeah, true. Can't forget OG. But Marcus Morris decided to just become a legend tonight. And there was no answer for him. That was disappointing to watch because the defense was not good. Like, it was good in spurts. At the very beginning of the third, it was good. But the defense against Marcus Morris, the defense against the bigs, not good.
Yeah, that's what we've been talking about on all the pods, how the Raptors defense, ever since that Oklahoma City game, has just been atrocious. We said in the Denver game that they brought the defense back in the fourth quarter. You know, everyone locked down. But we went right back to the slump in defense tonight.
Yep. The story of the game was our bench mob was bad, which is shocking, but it ended up being our bench mob that really ruined this game for us.
Besides,
I'm going to include everybody in there, but if we were to put it on the blame on one player, CJ Miles, but we'll get around to that. But this is what I think, and you started the pod off by saying I'm not that worried, and neither am I. And the Boston fans will be really happy because, and albeit so, right? They won against the Raptors, which are the first
They deserve
seed,
to win tonight. They definitely
did. And especially with a handful of players out with injuries. But this is the stat that I look at. 8 for 35 from 3, 23%, right? Yep. And that's not going to happen in the playoffs for two reasons. One, Dwayne Casey is going to tell them to stop shooting so many threes.
Yep.
Or
if
two,
it's bad.
Or two, they're going to start hitting threes. And there was a stretch when they started the third quarter, they were 5 for 27 from 3. There was a lot of threes that they missed, and I was thinking if they had to make 5 of those, right, they would be up by 15 points now because it was tied going into the third or into the fourth. I'm not sure. I'm messing up the numbers here, but essentially the point is if they had to convert on some of their shots, it would have been a blowout game. So I think that they'll either adjust to take less threes or they'll start making their shots, and that's why I'm not really worried about this game.
That's exactly the point I was going to bring up. The Raptors aren't going to shoot this bad from the three-point line in the playoffs. You don't revert from the mean that much. And tonight, as you said, CJ Miles just couldn't put a ball in the ocean. DeMar went 0 for 5 from 3. Norm got a few minutes, went 0 for 2. Siakam 0 for 1. You don't expect much from Siakam. DeLon 0 for 1. Lowry 2 for 10. The only guy that was really hitting it was Serge Ibaka, who was 3 for 3, and he doesn't take too many.
Yeah. It's a kind of a weird day when Serge Ibaka
Serge is the one who's hitting it.
The best player, yeah. Yep. Especially seeing it's how we've been telling him to stop shooting as much. But you know what? Go ahead.
The real collapse for the Raptors was in the fourth quarter. We kept even with the bad shooting, we kept it close throughout most of the game. But the Celtics really made their run in the fourth quarter. And what were your thoughts on just how the Raptors finished the game?
Yeah, well, the issue was, and Matt and Leo picked up on it, was that the Celtics worked really hard to slow down the tempo of the game, and they succeeded in that in the second half. Is because if the Raptors had to continue to drive the ball and play their aggressive defense, then it probably could have been a different game. But the Celtics are good at slowing it down, playing that half-court battle. We needed to score over 100 points tonight to win, and that didn't happen. And when it slowed down, that's when the Raptors lose or appear to lose their ball movement. They have less energy.
100%.
It ended up killing us. Yeah, and we just had no answers. We had no answers for Morris. We had no answers for the bigs. Greg Monroe I don't know if it showed in the box score, but Greg Monroe did us dirty tonight, along with Al Horford. And I mean, they're both good players, but bodying
good
up
is
Yak,
the key word.
But bodying up Yak, I was surprised. I was surprised at how easy they were able to score.
100%. It was their bigs. The Raptors had a lot of energy at one point in the third quarter, and it looked like they turned it around. It looked like the Raptors were starting to get it back. But then, as you said, they started bullying the bench mob, which is something you never see. And it was Greg Monroe and those guys who really just took it over for them. And it was a really strange sight. We talked about it before the pod, but it was interesting to see Norm play those clutch minutes over Fred.
Yeah. Well, okay. I understand it. I understand it from a coaching perspective because Fred missed a couple of shots. I mean, he made his first three, missed a couple after that. And the Celtics, surprisingly, were abusing the matchups today in terms of size, which I expected the Raptors should be better suited against the Celtics.
Jonas usually has his way.
Yeah, and you know what? Once again, Jonas only played 25 minutes, but I'm not going to question that decision. Just on the Norm over Van Vliet, a bigger guy, right? And it makes sense. But it didn't really necessarily work out. But I wouldn't put that blame on Norm.
But
or Fred Van Vliet. I don't think either of them would have made a difference.
Okay, I see where you're coming from with ideally and all that stuff that Norm might be the better fit for this game. But Fred, so many times when the Raptors are struggling, is our best player when we need him. He makes the big shots. He's steady. And the bench mob, if you look at the scores, Siakam had 2 points, CJ had 3, Norm had 2, DeLon had 2, Yak had 0. But Fred, even with the struggles, had 11 points. So I think he would have been a key addition to have in the fourth quarter.
I don't know, man. I think it's tight. I think because they wanted Lowry and DeMar out there because nobody on the bench was producing, so they had to play those two. And Lowry was already in a tricky position because Boston had no true point guards this game. So Terry Rozier was the shortest player, right? Yep. So then if you throw another person in at 6 foot, then you're putting Lowry back onto Jayson Tatum, who was arguably needed a small forward to guard him because of his skill and his length. So yes, Fred Van Vliet is normally our guy, but Boston had the key tonight. They had the key, and they figured out exactly what to do to exploit the Raptors team, which is unfortunate. But with that being said, had the Raptors been making their threes, it would have been a completely different game.
That's the thing that really killed us tonight. If the Raptors suddenly lose their 3-point touch over the next stretch of 6 games, then yes, I will start being worried as a Raptors fan. But I seriously doubt that's going to happen, and we both agree on that. But the one player I am a little bit worried about is Pascal Siakam's ability to play in the postseason. Because he's been amazing for us this year, but the Celtics left him on an island out there tonight.
Yeah. Well, both of our bench bigs. It was an odd game because they're big and long bodies with good defensive IQ, and somehow they were really losing the big man matchup. But you know what? That's a story to be seen. I don't think that this game is indicative of our performance moving into the playoffs. It's unfortunate that we keep losing games. I would have liked to have a 60-win season, and I would have liked to beat Boston just because we're slipping. We're slipping out of the media's attention, and they're just going to end up saying that we're a bad team, but whatever. The underdog
It's going to make it so much sweeter when we win the chip. Yeah. So much sweeter.
If you don't mind, we'll swing into the segments.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, geez. Play of the day. Play that just makes you shake your head and say, oh, geez. I had 2. Feel free to interject. One, and probably the most painful one, was the game was still up for grabs with 2-3 minutes left, and CJ Miles airballed a 3, and even tried to argue that it was tipped, and it was not. And it wasn't even a close airball. It was shallow. Yeah. Like, the man lost his legs. That was bad.
That was a rough watch.
The other, oh, geez. And this one hurt a little bit more because Fred Van Vliet threw a touchdown pass, and I said touchdown out loud. Touchdown! And then DeLon Wright just absolutely messed the reverse layup. He hit it off the rim. Almost got
off second look, like I texted you, like, how did he miss that layup? It looked like he tried to dunk it, and it might have been the worst dunk attempt in NBA history.
No, but to be fair, Jayson Tatum had a very similar play.
That's true.
He got a lob over DeMar and then missed his dunk.
Yeah. So it evens out for the OGs. But DeLon's did look a bit, because there was no one there. That was just
a huge mess. That was
yeah.
Don't know why he went for the reverse either. Could have just
did anything.
Did
Anything.
Yeah. Anything else with a better outcome. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Go for it.
Well, not all. We have it reverse ordered. Not all plays make you say "oh geez," and some are the play of the day. And tonight, the play of the day, Kyle Lowry had a really nice pass in between Al Horford's legs for the nice dump in and slam. So
that is a good one.
Nice little crafty play by Kyle Lowry. Hopefully we see a bit more of that.
A lot of fantastic dishes tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his shot was a bit off tonight, but as you said, he had a lot of great assists. He had 9 assists. And DeMar DeRozan, shout out to DeMar. He played really well tonight. We got to mention that, especially in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah, but 0 for 5 from 3.
Mm-hmm. But 32 points and 7 assists and 6 rebounds.
And 7 rebounds.
Mm-hmm. Because the Raptors could have easily lost this game by 40 points, the way they were shooting from three land. But DeMar DeRozan's just constant attack mode kept us in the game for the first 3 quarters. But unfortunately, down the stretch, just couldn't keep it up.
Yeah. And the final play, and this one we're going to be heavy-handed with tonight.
Mm-hmm.
The DeMarre Carroll Gold Star Award for worst performance, and this is in due order because a lot of the players on the Raptors have been underperforming lately. So we're going to single out the people who did exactly what DeMarre Carroll did while he was on the team. CJ Miles, even Kyle Lowry. I'm going to throw him under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who shot atrociously from the 3 tonight, especially CJ Miles, though. CJ Miles was a liability out there. He was drawing fouls, missing all of his shots, and then that air ball at the end just really did it in for me.
Yeah.
Bad performance.
Committing fouls, not drawing them.
Yeah,
committing
fouls. I don't even think he should have been out there in the fourth quarter tonight.
I agree. Like I understand Casey giving him a shot at the start of it, but we needed 3-point shooting, and I guess he is one of our best shooters, just not tonight. So I can see why he put him in, but yeah, as you said, everyone that was shooting poor, and Jakob Poeltl, 0 points tonight, and 3 rebounds in 20 minutes. That's bad. Yeah. We need Yak to...
He was a liability on defense as well.
Mm-hmm. And that's something you never hear from Yak. Never see or anything like that. And if your bigs aren't playing like that, you got Lucas Nogueira. You got Bebe.
True.
He's been
good the last couple of games in the very few minutes that he's played.
Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Yak better watch out for the playoff time because, as you said, Bebe's been playing well. And if he keeps putting up donuts, it's going to be rough. But... Yeah,
that's true.
It was,
you know what?
It was a
and
mess.
We're being hard on the guys, but hopefully this is a wake-up call because this performance from a lot of players needs to step up, or else
100%.
It's going to be a rough time for Raptors fans.
Yep. And a final DeMarre Carroll Gold Star Award is all the turnovers we had in the fourth quarter as well. Just dribbling the ball. We're looking like grade 6s out there playing against a full court press. That's what it looked like, us in the half court, just driving in, throwing the ball everywhere. It was a mess. Yeah. It was. DeMar DeRozan had one. Lowry's open in the corner. He just throws a baseball pass. He's looking like, I don't know, Marcus Stroman as fire, but 5 feet to the left. It was.
Oh yeah, he threw a bullet. Yeah, and it was to no one.
Yeah, probably broke a fan's nose.
That's it. Well, you'd probably be happy about that if it was a Boston fan.
Yeah. Someone's heckling DeMar, getting that ball in the face. It was calculated.
Well, that's it. Rough game. Yep. I'm sure we'll bounce back. Next game,
big
Cleveland,
game versus Cleveland.
And then back to Boston again. So the Raptors better dial in the cranks, or else we are going to be losing some games that we shouldn't lose.
Yep. I got a feeling Fred VanVleet's going off next game. That's my feeling. It's in my...
Called it.
Yep. Anyways, that's it from us. Everyone, thanks for listening. You made it this far. Raptors, as Ryker said, tough game. We'll bounce back. It's only going to make the playoffs that much sweeter. Keep tuned to Raptors Digest. We have a lot of cool stuff planned for the playoffs. All stuff coming up. You guys are the best.